On your screen, do you have to click got it?
Yep.
Okay. Did you already click it?
And it's yeah, and it says recording up top, so I think we're straight.
Okay, cool. All right. Ready?
Yep.
Alrighty, brother. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. This is George here with George Dabdo Official. Thank you guys so much for waiting up for this video right here. We wanted to make a podcast for you guys. This is our first official podcast about the NFL regular season. We were trying to get this up to you guys a couple days ago, but we had some technical difficulties with some new mics and headphones and stuff like that. But nonetheless, we finally got it here. Some of you guys may know who is on the screen with me as well. It's my best friend, Adam Moraga. Him and I have always talked about doing a podcast, something like this since we were little, and we finally got around to it. So, Adam, if you want to explain a little bit about what we're going to be doing on a weekly basis for the NFL season.
Yeah, so we just talked about just brainstormed about kind of saying our picks for the week and what we should kind of have a format for it. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna every week we're gonna have a spread bet, a over under, and a prop on the NFL, and then we're gonna do one like our most confident play. So we're each gonna release four picks every week, and then we're just gonna kind of talk about why we like them. And George had mentioned earlier to me personally, like, we're not analysts. We're just kind of gonna give a run around on why we like it. We're not gonna crunch numbers and stuff. Sometimes maybe, but we're just big fans of sports and definitely football. So we just figured, why not, release picks and see if they're any good.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing for us is just kind of we're always having these conversations via text, or we're always having these conversations on the phone, or should I do this or should I do that? Should I put this play in? And I think it's finally cool that I've got the YouTube channel and we've got a platform to post something on and just let some people watch it and see what we pick. I actually had somebody message me the other day that like we should all get in like some type of group chat. So I was really thinking about starting like a Discord or something where we can post these plays because some people don't have the time to watch a 15 or 20-minute video about picks that aren't going to be shown until 18 minutes into the video. So for
Right.
some people it might be easier to put it on a Discord and then they can just follow or tail it. So the cool thing about what I really like about like our format that we're going to have, we're going to put our records every week to see who's winning, to see if you're better at prop bets or to see if you're better at over under or whatever the case is, just so we can have a record for the entire season. So I mean, getting right into it, man. Do you want to start us with what your favorite prop bet of the week is?
Yeah, so for my prop bet, I took Sky Moore over receiving yards. I was looking into different books. DraftKings has him at 38 and a half at minus 120. If you are able to bet FanDuel, you get 36 and a half and at minus 114. So you get more of an edge if you're taking the over. Reasons being is Chiefs, obviously, we know are pass heavy. And every
Yeah,
defense is
especially
going
with
to,
Patrick Mahomes, right? I mean, what made you go with Sky Moore over any of the other receivers? I mean, there's not really a wide receiver one on that team right now. So do you think like he's going to be the number one guy throughout the entire season or
yeah, Sky Moore is actually a guy I'm pretty high on because I feel like all the defenses will game plan around Kelsey, obviously. And then he's just younger than Tony and Scantling. I think he has more to prove. And Kadarius Tony has had issues being healthy. So I think Sky Moore is going to kind of progress as the wide receiver one eventually. But I think week one is definitely the time to kind of show it. And also the reason I took yards instead of receptions is because with Mahomes as your quarterback, you can hit that prop with one good pass, and he's the guy to
yeah,
do it. So I took
especially
more
him having
over
that top end
reception.
speed.
Yeah,
Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, but
no,
talking about like they always have those fast and like speedy guys. So like he can take a slant route to the house right on one play and you can get all your
yep,
yards on one play because you already know as someone who's gonna watch the Chiefs on a weekly basis, you're gonna know that Kelsey's gonna have his 80 plus yards no matter what his prop bet is or his line is probably set somewhere in the 80s. But when you look at Sky Moore last year, that a lot of people were high on him. Was he a rookie last year? Was last
yeah,
year his first
rookie
year?
last year. Mhm.
So you always have that weird like kind of like freshman year or rookie year kind of
Mhm.
jitters or I don't know what it is where someone might just not have the year that they're supposed to or that people anticipate because I remember last year people were so high on him and he kind of didn't fulfill the role that people wanted him to. And then they brought in Kadarius Toney, who had a little bit of a spark. But with Kadarius Toney being on the team as well, I think you have a really good prop bet here because your main focus is going to be Travis Kelce. You have Marquez Valdez-Scantling. You have Kadarius Toney. But I really think Sky Moore at such a low prop, it has a ton of value.
Yeah.
Is there anything else that you see in that game that you might like, or was Sky Moore the one that stood out to you?
Not at the moment. I kind of just skimmed that game, and Sky Moore's prop was one that's like jumped out to me.
Stood
Like
out.
it kind of was like begging you to take it, you know. So
Yeah,
that, I don't know. It might be a little trappy, but I liked it, and I feel comfortable putting my money on it. Like if I lose and he doesn't get 40 yards, like I think that's still a good bet.
for sure. Are you someone that bets on a level of just dollars, or do you bet units? Like how do you manage your bankroll to make sure that you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, right? So like you and I have always talked about like bankroll management. For some people who are watching this video who might not understand what maybe unit betting is or dollar betting is, are you more of a unit size better, or are you more of a dollar size better?
Um, I feel like I bounce around a little bit,
Yeah,
but if I could be on on the unit side, that'd probably make myself a little more disciplined. Um, and it's hard with football, especially if there's a few bets you like. So I think that the fact that we're doing this structure will kind of help me keep my units or keep my bets maybe all the same.
in a line. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So, is a prop bet something that you used to do? I mean, before we started to do the podcast and stuff, is it something that you would bet on pretty often weekly? Like in 2022, is it something that you would bet on, or is it something that is new and this line just stuck out to you?
No, yeah, I'm more of a spread money line over under better.
Gotcha.
But every now and then I would hit props that I like. So yeah, this one just stood out to me. Again, like I said, Chiefs are a powerhouse offense, so I feel like Sky Moore is gonna kind of take the reins on the wide receiver one.
For sure.
Um, so yeah, I just see a lot of value here in this.
For
And for
sure. I
your
mean,
prop bet,
you're
what are you thinking about?
yeah, you're looking at a wide receiver one that will have to emerge. I already got my prop bet set on the best wide receiver that's in Dallas, man. I've got anytime touchdown score CeeDee Lamb at plus 110. With Dak Prescott in the lineup last year, he was just, I want to say, the number 2 wide receiver in fantasy like through the last like 5 or 7 weeks of the year with Dak healthy. So I really think that structure is going to roll right into the new season, especially with Brandon Cooks coming on and being on the other side of the field with CeeDee Lamb. I really do think that it's just going to open the field up for a lot of crossing routes or a lot of deep post routes for CeeDee Lamb. And it's ultimately going to lead to a touchdown. So I wouldn't be surprised in the first game if CeeDee Lamb has over 100 yards receiving. I didn't even check what his receiving total was set at, because I just have a feeling that he's going to be the first. If I had to lay enough juice, or if I was ballsy enough to lay it on first touchdown score, I definitely would do it on that. But with Saquon Barkley on the other side, I really think that that's a probable bet as well. But yeah,
Yeah,
give me CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown score at plus 110, and I'd probably lay about a half a unit on it.
nice.
I just really like the fact that he's going to be the number 1 receiver, and ultimately could probably be the number 1 receiver in the league. I don't know what you think about that. I know you and I were talking about CeeDee Lamb when you were maybe looking at betting him or drafting him in fantasy. Did you end up drafting him in fantasy, or?
Yeah, so actually, little fantasy recap real quick.
Yeah.
Just round. So I was a 6th pick. So when it came around to the second round, I think what I get like the 15th or 16th, something like that.
Yeah, somewhere around there
I'm
in a
sorry,
12 man league.
the ninth pick. Sorry. So when it came back around, I had the choice for my top three were AJ Brown, Pollard, or CeeDee Lamb. I texted you. You told me you were high on CeeDee. You told me that, like you said, with Dak in the lineup, he's I don't know what you said, top 2 receiver in the league
Yeah,
fantasy
I think
wise.
only behind like either Stephon Diggs or Justin Jefferson, like one of the two. I mean, that's good company to be in. So
Yeah, and
I'm putting all my eggs in one basket on CeeDee Lamb. So I don't know what you think.
yeah, no, I'm with it because I kind of like it better than AJ Brown because I mean, obviously I'm a Philly fan, but AJ Brown has Devontae Smith on the other side. He's going to take away some work to where CeeDee Lamb's probably going to get a majority of the work.
For sure.
He'll be trusted with more, just playmaking. Whereas to the Eagles, kind of got to spread it. They got Swift now. They got a
Yeah.
good tight end, 2 good wide receivers. Hurts can run it himself. So I really like CeeDee. I was kind of bouncing. It was in between him and Pollard because I had Pollard last year and he did great for me.
Yeah.
But I'm always higher on receivers because they tend to stay healthy majority of the time compared to a running back. So
Yeah, they don't take as many
I
hits.
like
I
the
mean,
CD. I'm
you're
with
looking
you
at
on the
Tony
CD
Pollard
train.
coming off of didn't he break his leg at like the last game of the season last year or something
Yeah,
like that? So
yeah, bad
anyone that's
injury.
coming off of injury definitely scares me. So I mean, enough about our prop bets, right? We're moving on to our total. Who do you have as your favorite total bet of the week?
So I'm gonna go Monday Night Football, Bills Jets over 46 and a half. I just think this might kind of be a square bet, but I feel like it's what the people want to see. You know, it's week one, Aaron Rodgers on a new team, two dynamic offenses. I think they just give us a show, 30-27, maybe something like that.
Nice. Hell yeah.
I also one thing that does concern me though about the Bills is I know there was some drama with Diggs wanting out, or you know him and Ellen not having the best relationship at the moment. But at the end of the day, these guys are professionals and they're going to go out and do what's needed to win. And I still think the Bills offense clicks, and I think Aaron Rodgers with what he's surrounded with right now is very dangerous. So I'm gonna go over 46 and a half on that Bills Jets.
Yeah, no better way to get frustration out than scoring a bunch of touchdowns on a Monday night football game. I mean, that's probably the most
Yep.
watched football game of the week. It's on ESPN. It's you don't have to buy the NFL Sunday ticket or anything like that. So I'm definitely with you. I might have to write that with you. You said the total was set at 46 and a half?
46 and a half.
46 and a half, and you can get that on DraftKings or I'd assume FanDuel. They're all probably going to be right around the same. I'm
Yeah,
looking at DraftKings right now, and if you didn't want that hook, you can get over 46 at minus 112 without that half
even
a point
better.
hook. So
Yeah,
something that
even
you
better.
can take a look at and getting in. I'm going completely opposite side of the spectrum. You're looking for offense. I'm looking for a lot of defense. I'm going to take the total under 39 points in the Arizona Cardinals and Washington what's their names now? The Commander? Are they
Commanders.
still the Commanders? I seen some talks that they were going to move it back to the Redskins or something. So the football team, the Commanders, the Redskins. Give me the under 39 at minus 110. I see a lot of running going on in that game. You're going to see a lot of James Conner on one side. You might see an inexperienced quarterback in Sam Hell on the Washington side, just kind of getting his feet wet, right? This is going to be his first NFL season where he's going to be going in as the starter. So not that I'm not that I don't think either of these teams can score points because Marquise Brown is on one side of the field. You got Scary Terry, McLaurin, and Jahan Dotson on the other side. So
Yep, yep.
there is some how can I say this? There is some value in possibly the over. I mean, at 40 points, what is that? Four? No, not four touchdowns. God, my math is awful.
20
Uh,
and 20.
yeah,
That's
six touchdowns total. I mean, that'll put you at
yeah,
42. That's going to be right there, and you figure um, that there is some offense going to be played. But ultimately, I just think two teams that aren't going to be very good this year. I mean, the Commanders can be good this year, but they're in a tough division. The Cardinals are not going to be good at all. They're just going to
not
have
at all.
I really think just James Conner in that backfield. That's why I drafted him in fantasy. But at minus 110, you give me the under 39 points. I'm really happy with that.
All right, cool, cool, cool. All right, and now that leads us to our spread bet. It's probably my most bet category here.
Okay.
Um, you can go first on this one.
All right, yeah. You've been going first on this entire video here. So was bouncing back and forth between um the Bengals spread and the pick that I ultimately went with. I'm really high on Justin Fields, man. I really think he's gonna tear it up, especially at home. He said last year that he hates playing in the cold, and this is gonna be his prime time since he's gonna be playing in good weather in Chicago and they're playing at home. So give me the minus one Chicago Bears over the Green Bay Packers. I just excuse me, I really think that that's going to be great value. It's a pick 'em, which I really don't think should be a pick 'em. I think it maybe be closer to a minus two and a half. But like I said, I'm really high on Justin Fields, just as high as I was on CeeDee Lamb. If I am able to draft him in my leagues on Sunday, I have two drafts on Sunday, and you and I are in one of those together.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
So I kind of gave you a little bit of insight of what I want to do. But yeah,
yeah.
give me Justin Fields minus one, give me Chicago Bears minus one. And on DraftKings right now, you're seeing it at minus 112 since the start of this video. So who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the Jags by 4.5. Jags
Ooh,
minus four and a
Jags.
half.
A lot
Yeah.
of people are high on the Jags this year, huh?
Yep, a lot of people. But I can also see why they like Trevor Lawrence. You know, he's just a solid quarterback. He's turned his turnovers around. He takes care of the football, makes better decisions. The only thing that scares me is the Jags D is so.
Shaky. Yeah.
Colts D was a little better. They were really bad offensively last year. I actually wrote down they had the most turnovers in the league, and the second person down was the second team down was the Texans. It
Yeah.
was Colts 34, Texans 28, Bills 27, Bears, Cardinals at 25. Um, Jags just take care of the football better, so I
Yeah,
think the
they showed it
Colts
last year too, for
defense,
sure. They definitely showed it
yeah,
last year, especially with like the
Colts,
Christian Kirk and Zay Jones combination. But now they
yeah.
kind of even get an upgrade at wide receiver. What do you think of them adding Calvin Ridley? I mean, he's coming off that 1 year suspension for the breaking the gambling policy. But what do you think of him? He's getting drafted pretty high in fantasy. Did you take a stab at him, or did you even look his way at all?
I didn't, but I also didn't get the like good. I didn't get put in a good enough chance to grab him. You know, if I did, it would have to
Yeah,
be at way too high, and then the time where he would come around, he was gone. So,
gotcha.
but I do see him having a good year. Obviously, he's got a good quarterback, and he's an athlete. He's great at his position. So I think for sure he has 1,000, 1,100 yards this year.
Yeah, he's got the potential to have 1,000 yard season, and I'm pretty sure he's
Yeah,
hungry to get on the field because I think from what he was saying, the bet that he made was pretty minor. I mean, in terms of what his income would be, right, to someone
yeah,
else's $1,500 bet, that could be a whole month's worth of, or at least 2 weeks worth of work. But to him, it was
yeah,
just a drop in the bucket. So, moving on to what do we have? Our lock of the week now.
yep.
All
Good
right.
lock of the week right here.
So I'll do this one. I'll go first because they're right on your hat, and I know you're a big fan of this team, and they're coming off of a Super Bowl loss, unfortunately, which they almost had in the bag. But you can't count out Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs. So my lock of the week
Unfortunately, you
is going to
can't.
be the Philadelphia Eagles at minus 192 money line. I just don't know why they're only a -3 going into Foxborough. I know that home field advantage might give them a little bit of a spread or a little bit lesser of a spread. But I just really think that the Eagles are probably the most balanced team in the NFL. I mean, they've got great offense. They got a great quarterback, two great receivers that can be a wide receiver one on basically any team. Besides those who have the Justin Jeffersons or Stephon Diggs of the world. And then you guys got a great defense. And I'm pretty sure you guys drafted so well this year,
Yeah.
moving down, and you still were able to get Jalen Carter in that first round spot. There was just, I don't know how other GMs didn't see it. What's your GM's
Shout
name?
out to Howie. Shout out to
Howie.
Howie.
Yeah, there you go. Everyone was talking about him during the NFL draft on how well he drafted, and I think he did a great job. And I see this being a, I don't know, 7, 8, maybe even 10 point victory for the Eagles. I don't know why they're getting so much respect on the Foxborough side, but whatever. The Patriots are going in with only one quarterback on the roster. I think they just cut the two backups that they had. So I don't know who they're going to go if Mac Jones gets hurt, but yeah, give me
Philip
the Eagles
Rivers
money
time.
line at minus 192. Yeah, for sure. They're going to have to go call somebody, Uncle Rico or something. Who do
All
you got?
right.
What's your
All
lock of
right.
the week?
My lock of the week right here. And again, this could be a square bet. Maybe everyone's on it. It just looks maybe too good to be true. But like I said before, I could feel comfortable losing my money on the Bengals -2.5 or money line if you're scared. Um, I do know that they are in Cleveland, and the Bengals road record 6-3 last year, but they ended on a 5-0 road run before losing to
Nice.
the Chiefs in the
The AFC
Red
Championship.
Kingdom. Is that what they call it?
Oh yeah, and they called it Burrowhead for a little bit, right? Remember, because
Yeah, Burrowhead.
they were all saying because the Chiefs had never beat Joe Burrow, or Patrick Mahomes had never beat Joe Burrow in an NFL game, and it finally was the one that took him to the
Yeah,
Super Bowl. So
and even in
I
that
guess.
game, the Bengals had probably the better chance to win in multiple parts of the game, but just kind of couldn't put it away.
Well, weren't they up
Uh,
at one point and like the first quarter they were up like 14-0 or like 17-0. I'll have to
yeah,
go back and check that or something. But yeah, they were up pretty heavily, and the Bengals, if you would have bet the Chiefs live in that game, you would have won some good coin. But yeah, I really like
yeah,
that pick. I'm super high on the Bengals as well, not to steal any of your shine, but Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase, that is like my guys this year. I'm a big LSU fan, and I'm really high on them too. If we were doing futures pick, I don't know if you have a futures pick to throw out there as a random, but if I'm throwing out a tenth of a unit on something for a futures, I'm not someone who does that very often. But give me the Bengals to win the Super Bowl at plus 1100 right now. I think that's great value. $10 to win you 110. I definitely, I don't know what you think about that. Sorry to steal the shine of your lock
No,
of the
no, you're
week,
good.
but my lock
No,
of the year.
definitely not a bad place to lay your money there. Obviously, Joe Burrow, when he first came in the league, took them from whatever they were to, way beyond what they even expected
Yeah,
right
they
off
were
the
pretty
bat.
close to the bottom of the league. I mean, you're seeing here Super Bowl 2024 champs, the Chiefs being at plus 600, the Eagles being at plus 650, so they're pretty confident both of those teams going back to the Super Bowl.
No
Uh
rematch.
they always have the Bills up there. I mean, especially with Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. They're plus 900. The Niners at plus 1,000. I think they're going to fall completely. I don't know if Brock Purdy's the answer. I think he had that really good rookie year. But, hey, what are you going to do? And then you've got the Bengals rounding out the top 5 at plus 1,100. And, Schmad, one thing I did see, bro, on Twitter, in the last, 5 or, 6 years, the Super Bowl winner has been no longer from the start of the season a plus 1,300. And the only teams that are going to be a plus 1,300 or less is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals plus 1,100, and then everyone else that I mentioned. So give me the Bengals at plus 1,100 value. I think that's really good. You got a quarterback that's been to the Super Bowl and a quarterback that's been to the AFC Championship twice. I really like the value there. So I don't know what you
Yeah, for
think.
sure.
Maybe if you go with the Eagles as your Super Bowl favorite, but that's not a pick that people should shy away from either.
Yeah. If I had to give a futures right now, obviously I'm a little biased. Jalen Hurts revenge tour. Defense is, I mean, we lost experience, but we kind of filled them with good pieces, like you said, Jalen Carter. We got Kobe Dean, who will be playing a bigger role this year, and then we
Nice.
got sorry, drawing a blank here. Second rounder. Who do we draft this second round?
Let's see. Let's look it up. Who is the
Uh,
Eagles' second round draft pick this year? Let me see. NFL
who was our
2023
second round? It's gonna kill me.
draft. Let's see. Let's take a look. So you drafted Jalen Carter, ninth overall. Then you guys had a second, first round pick, Nolan Smith.
Nolan
Uh,
Smith. I don't know how I forgot. He is obviously a Georgia dog. Came from the best defense in college in the nation.
yeah. What did they
We're
let up?
just
Like one touchdown the entire, like one rushing touchdown or something like that. Something crazy.
something ridiculous. So we got those two monsters along with, we filled the spots, and obviously they're young, but they're talented. They're athletic. So our team is just, like you said, they're well balanced. I think we have the kind of most balanced and most
No,
deep
100%.
roster.
I think you guys
Yeah.
have the most well balanced team in the NFL. I mean, let me go back here, but you're looking at, like, if you look at the Chiefs, they're really offensive heavy, right? Like Patrick
Hmm.
Mahomes, Travis Kelce. That's what you think of when you think of the Kansas City Chiefs. You go to the Buffalo Bills, you think a little bit about their defense, but you really think of Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs, right? Those are going to be the two guys that are going to pop into your mind right then and there. The
Yep.
Niners, you think of strictly defense. I mean, you've got some great receivers. You've got Christian McCaffrey, who you'll probably think about. But after thinking about Christian McCaffrey, you're thinking about the 49ers defense. But like you said, the Eagles are definitely the most well-rounded team, and I think that's why they get the respect of being at the plus 650 for the Super Bowl odds. So I think we've overtalked a little bit about a Super Bowl champion, but I really think that our picks for the week, I don't know. Let's see who has a better record. I mean, do you think that we can sweep the card? Do you think that we have some shaky picks? I mean, you're looking at what would you say if you had to give somebody some caution about the picks that you just gave us? Who would be, or who would you lean towards the bottom? Like if you had to rank your picks 1 through 4, who would you rank 1? Who would you rank 4?
Um, yeah, so obviously the lock, Bengals, my most confident pick. I also took note that last season the Bengals did lose to the Browns at Cleveland.
Okay.
I looked at the box score. The Bengals just didn't convert. They couldn't get nothing going. I also saw that was Cincinnati's lowest scoring game of the season, including
Okay.
playoffs, while also being Cleveland's highest scoring game of the season. So I
Oh,
think
it's kind of their
the
best versus their worst, right? And
yeah,
then you kind
exactly.
of
So I think if that has to repeat itself, the Bengals have to play their worst football. I'm not too impressed with Deshaun Watson. He was shaky last year, and obviously I think he got a little better, probably fell into a rhythm, but I don't think he's Joe Burrow good at the moment.
yeah, for sure.
Um, so definitely, like if I was gonna say, hey, put your money on this, I'm going Bengals.
Okay.
The one I'm shaky on is just because I'm kind of not experienced in prop bets. I would say the Sky Moore if I had to
Okay.
rank my worst bet
I would probably
out
say
of
the
the four.
same. Yeah, I would definitely probably say the same thing. Not because of the bet itself. I think the line is great. What scares me is Travis Kelsey. I mean, he's the number one guy, and he can have a 200-yard receiving, or I don't know
Yeah,
if he can have a 200-yard receiving day, but he can definitely have 100 plus. I mean, that's definitely no problem, which is going to take a lot away from Sky Moore. But I think it's a good value there. I mean, you're only asking for 2 20-yard catches. I mean, that's pretty easy, especially in a Patrick Mahomes run offense.
yeah.
So if
I
you're
also see the
going,
Lions kind of going in the shootout with them. The Lions had a good offense last year, so I don't think
yeah,
the Chiefs ever have to, run out the clock. I think it's going to be pretty up
high
pace on
scoring.
both sides. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I think when I was looking at the total on that one, I think it might have been the highest total of
yeah. I
the
think it was
week.
54 is what I saw it last.
Dang. So like when I first, now it's up to, yep, you're right at 54. I'm looking at everything else. That is the highest total of the week other than 51 in the Chargers and Dolphins game. So I think you've got great value there. I think Sky Moore is going to do it. So I don't think that's something to worry about, but it is probably the most shakiest out of the four bets that you gave me. If I had to rank my bets from most confident to least confident, I would probably have to say Eagles money line being number one. That's probably my most confident. That's why it's my lock of the week. If I moved on to my second most confident, you might be surprised by this one. But it's definitely going to be CeeDee Lamb anytime touchdown score. 100% going with that one. Then moving on to the Chicago spread at -1, and then the under 39 at the Arizona Cardinals and the Washington Commanders. So
Yeah, it's
I
always
think
tough to be confident in an under just because you always have that what if factor, like, oh, what if they just show out today, like that
going to
QB
a
said.
shootout, something like that.
Yeah,
And it's
that
the first
QB
game of the
said just
year.
has game of his life. Yeah, first game of the year, But also, like first game of the year, it's I know obviously you've been in an offense before. It's kind of hard to get a rhythm right off the bat. So I
Yeah,
don't
for
think
sure.
I mean obviously like we just talked about that what if, but I mean I think, like you said, these two teams aren't going to be good to begin with, and then to go out week one and both have to put up 3 touchdowns apiece for you to lose. I think, like you said, good value there.
For sure. So we
Oh,
did
our
good.
pickums, our pickums.
Oh, you are absolutely right. Let's go over those real quick. Let's go back into the video real quick. Detroit Lions versus Kansas City Chiefs. Who do you got?
I'm going Chiefs.
All right, I'm gonna ride Chiefs with you there too. Arizona Cardinals versus Washington Commanders. Who do you got?
Let's go Commanders at home.
You're gonna go Commanders at home. Yeah, I'm going Commanders. That's not as hard as I made it out to be. Houston Texans versus the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you got? You got the Ravens at home.
Oh, that's easy Ravens right there.
That's an easy one. This is a tough one. My mom's actually going to be out there for this game. You got the San Francisco 49ers versus the Pittsburgh Steelers. Who do you got?
Ooh, this is rough because I'm high on Pickett this year. I think he's going to have a great year. They are at home, and like you said, I'm with you on Brock Purdy not being the guy, I guess, like or not being sold on him being the guy.
Yeah,
So I do like the Steelers this year, but the 49ers have a great D. I think for Kenny Pickett to have a great year and have to face the Niners as a week one is kind of rough. I'm gonna
I
go
get you.
Niners on that.
All right. Well, I
Tell
am
your mom I
not
said
going
I'm sorry.
Niners. Hopefully she's watching this. I don't know if she's ever watched the full video before. But I am going with the Steelers here at home at +120. And give me that. So that's our first disagreement of the year. So what do you got for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Minnesota Vikings game? Who do you got?
Give me Kirky over Baker Mayfield
Oh yeah,
all day.
that's an easy one. Uh, I know you. This was one of your picks. Jaguars versus Colts. I assume you're gonna go Jaguars here.
Yes, sir, Jacksonville.
All right, I got the Jaguars in that one as well. This one we're gonna blow right past. Cincinnati Bengals versus Cleveland Browns. This was both of our one of our locks that we had before we started talking about doing the video. Give me the Bengals money line. I assume you got that as well.
Cincy baby.
There we go. Tennessee Titans versus the New Orleans Saints. This is a tough one.
Oof, that's a tough one right there. Let me see. Let me get to that game. I just want to see who's at home. Who's at home?
We've got the
Niners,
Saints
Niners.
at home.
Saints at home. I'm not big on Derek Carr, but I'm also not big on Tannehill, man. This is rough. Uh,
Well,
you
let me
go
steal the
first on
show
this
from
one.
you.
I'm gonna
Let me
give
steal the
yeah,
show
yeah,
from you
yeah.
because I'm huge on Derek Carr, and I think the Raiders getting rid of Derek Carr and moving on to Jimmy Garoppolo was more of a lateral move. So give me the Saints in that game. I think he's going to tear it up. I think Derek Carr is going to lead the league, and let's go bold prediction. He's going to lead the league in passing yards. How about that?
Derek Carr.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'll make sure to note that.
Yeah, put
Note
it
that
in the
in the
note.
video.
I mean, it'll be on YouTube, but definitely gonna
It's
have to put this
documented.
in the notes. Yep, can't go back on that.
I'm gonna go ahead. We haven't picked an underdog yet, I don't believe. So I'm gonna take the tight. Oh no, wait, were the Niners favorited?
Niners.
Favorited?
I picked a
Oh yeah.
dog already. You haven't
Oh
picked
yeah,
a
you
dog.
picked a dog. I haven't picked a dog. I'm gonna go Titans here. Derrick Henry, Hopkins. Like I said, I'm not big on Tannehill, but maybe they have the what it takes to get it done.
All
Away.
right. Moving on to the next game, we've got Atlanta versus Carolina. With Atlanta being at home, who do you have?
Ew. I'm gonna go Atlanta. I just feel like they have more offensive weapons there.
Yep, I'm gonna agree with you on that one. There's no chance that I think. I mean, not that there's no chance, but give me Atlanta. I'm looking forward to watching Bijan Robinson playing. I mean, him being a hometown kid. So give me the Atlanta Falcons. Moving on to the next game at the start of the 1 o'clock games. You've got the Eagles versus the Patriots. My lock, I'm gonna go because my lock wears the Eagles. I assume you got to go with the Eagles, and you might be picking the Eagles at a 18-0 pace this year, or 17-0 pace. Moving on to the second
Give me Philly.
afternoon
I
game.
gotta stay it verbally. Give me Philly.
Okay, okay. Moving on to the next 1 o'clock game, we've got the LA Rams versus the Seattle Seahawks. What do you think?
I see the Rams being a lot better this year than
Okay.
they were last year. It's hard to be as bad as they were last year. But the Seahawks in Seattle, with the 12th man, Geno Smith had a good year last year.
You think he
Uh,
regresses?
I do think so, but I think he does good enough to maybe sneak in the playoffs or be
Okay,
around, hanging around.
I get you.
But I'm gonna take the Rams in this one. I just
All
Matt
right.
Stafford and Cup, even though I know Cup's been dealing with stuff.
You took a
I like
second
the
dog
Rams.
before I did. I mean, you've got the Rams
Yeah.
at plus 200. That might be something to lock in. But the 12th man, give me the Seattle Seahawks. And this is going to be my second dog of the week. Moving on to the next afternoon game, we've got the Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. I don't know how they're giving so much respect to the Denver Broncos at -4.5. Give me the Raiders at plus 164. My second underdog of the week. I'm picking my mom's favorite team. I'm picking my favorite team. Let's go. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go, man. I'm sorry, but I got Russell Wilson. Like same thing with the Rams. It's hard to be as bad as you were last year. I think Russell Wilson's gonna play a little better. They're at home. I'm gonna go Denver.
Bro, I thought you were about to say that you like drafted Russell Wilson or something because you said I got Russell Wilson. I thought the next sentence was gonna be
Oh
that
no,
you
no, no,
you
no,
drafted
no.
Russell Wilson. I was gonna be you've got some explaining to do. But moving on to the next afternoon game, we've got the Green Bay Packers versus the Chicago Bears. I've got the Bears at -118, but I'm gonna take their -1 because it's a -110. So there's really no point. I'll push if it's a 1 point victory. Who do you got?
Yeah, this one's a rough one. Like you said, you're high on Fields. I think people are high on Love. But I like the Bears better. I'm with you with Fields. I think he's gonna. I know a lot of people are saying, he's a running back and all this, but I think he's gonna show some stuff this year. So I'll go Bears.
All right. I think I got another dog here, man. We're looking at the last afternoon game of Sunday night. We've got the Dolphins versus the Chargers. The Dolphins are at plus 140 at this point before Sunday comes out. So give me the Dolphins money line, man. I really think Tyreek Hill has the potential to be the number one receiver in fantasy this year and just the number one receiver overall, being hopefully he can surpass some milestones. But I got the Dolphins in that game. Who do you got?
We're gonna go against each other again. I'm gonna go in Chargers. I know the Chargers defense has made a paper. They hurt my eyes last year to watch when I bet on them. I remember I bet them to cover against the Niners, and they did. But every time they hand the ball off, easy, like they're running against a high school team. But
I get you.
I like Justin Herbert just to win in a shootout here, so I'm gonna go Chargers.
Nice. Yeah, I'm hoping that that's going to be a high scoring game. I think the over in that has some great value as well. Moving on to the Sunday night football game. This is going to be a fun one. We've got Dak and the Dallas Cowboys versus Daniel Jones and the New York Giants being at home. Who do you got?
Not big on DJ. I'm not big on
What?
Dak either. I'm gonna go Cowboys.
You're going to go Cowboys. I'm also going to go Cowboys with you. I think the Giants will win the second game of the year. at Dallas. I think that's just how the season's gonna go. They're gonna go 1-1. It's kind of hard that that
That's
NFC, what is that?
that's
NFC
how the
East.
NFC East is. It's like
Yeah.
everyone splits.
Even the Commanders split with you guys last year, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's who
Yep.
knocked
Yep.
off your first you gave you guys your first loss. Moving on
Yep.
to the last game of the week 1 NFL regular season, we're looking at the Buffalo Bills versus the New York Jets. And this is something that's close to a pick 'em. You got the Jets at home, Aaron Rodgers with his new team, Garrett Wilson versus Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs. Who do you got, man?
I'm gonna go Aaron Rodgers at home. I'm going with the
Okay.
dog here.
I am not going to agree with you on this one. I think they're going to need some time to get get put into motion and kind of learn the
Yeah, I can
offense
also
and
see
get all
that as
that stuff.
well.
Not
Yeah.
that Aaron Rodgers needs to learn any offense. He's like the best quarterback in the league, and when it comes into that type of aspect of like knowing football and knowing where people need to be at all times. But I just think that the firepower that the Bills have is just going to be a little bit too much for the Jets. So give me the Buffalo Bills. We've got a couple underdogs in there. You've got a couple. I've got a couple. Let's see who ultimately ends up having the better record throughout the end of the season. And I'll put all of our picks and all of our pick'ems here at the end of the video. But like I tried to do the first time, thank you guys so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys tuning in. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and us closing out this video for the second time. Any last words, Adam, before we close this out?
Now let's wrap it up. We'll get back with you guys next week, hopefully with some good results.
All righty, brother. Thank you guys so much for tuning into this video. I look forward to making a week 2 with you guys. If you guys haven't already, please like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Last time I checked, we were about 148 subscribers in about 2 weeks. Hopefully, we can gain this channel to get to 200 before the end
Run
of
it up,
September.
run it up.
I hope so, man. I mean, we've got some high hopes for this channel, but if it ever, it'll be slow and steady wins the race. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys so much.